We are back and it is now time to quilt it. So I have some thoughts on thread color and I have a quilt backing, but I don't have a thought on design yet. So I need to look back at what I did on the last one of this fabric to see how I quilted it and refresh my memory from there. But I went wild with the backing. So this is Kona Kiwi, and it kind of just popped into these little leaf colors here. I felt like everything was going on the front just nice and calm, and I figured, why not have a crazy little pop color in the back? Kind of like last week where I did that gold color. So this is gonna be my backing. And I got, so usually for a 3-yard quilt, you can get 3 yards of a regular 45 wide or 44 wide backing to be big enough. And so because I like to be a little tricky with my piecing, when I get 4.5, I can get 2 quilt backs out of it. So that's what I did. I got 4.5 of this because I still have some of this left. I still have some of this left, this blue. And so I've got about 1 yard of this, a little over 1 yard of this. So I'm probably gonna have to make this my binding. And so whatever quilt I do next, I will then have to consider that, the size on that, because if I have less than 1 yard at that point, but we'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So I'm gonna piece this backing. I probably have to piece some batting too while I'm at it, just to ensure that I have enough, and then we'll be off to the quilting races. So I've got a blue that's gonna work really well. It's called Brittany Blue. It's a glide thread. I don't know who Brittany is, but she has a good shade of blue. And so that's gonna look really nice on here. I think it's gonna keep it nice and soft and neutral and calming on the front, with these red flowers being the pop of color. And then this on the back is gonna be super fun. And then we'll see what happens when it comes to binding at that point. So I'm gonna go piece and I'll meet you at my long arm. So here we are with the Elation quilt all basted in and ready to go. Originally I was going to go with a floral, like the fresh cut design that I did on the last one with this print, but after looking at it with these being very angular, I decided to go with the double bubble pattern. I think that'll look good. It's with the polka dots and everything, and so we'll see how it goes from there. So what do you think, Trixie? Yeah? Somebody mowing their lawn? So here's our look at the front, and then the back of that with the green with the double bubble, and it looks pretty good. I think it was a good choice to go with something more shapely versus florally, and so I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do about binding now. We're gonna go lay this out in the living room, trim it all up, and get this finished. So after posting last week's video, I had so many people comment that they either had done the Elation quilt or somebody in their family had done the Elation quilt or wanted them to do the Elation quilt. So I'm very excited that I chose the Elation quilt. And as you can see, I chose to go with the flowers for the binding. I just felt like it needed a little pop of the red back in there. And I think it's such a good tie-in between the front, oops, sorry, didn't mean to bonk that, to the back. It doesn't look as Christmassy as I was imagining it would be with that green touching the red. I think it's nice and springy, and it doesn't overwhelm the front. Like if I had thought about doing a green backing or binding and bringing that to the front, I think that would have overpowered a little bit. But overall, I think this turned out really great. And I know a lot of people were commenting on the secondary pattern that comes in here, which I thought was pretty cool as well. And so I still think this would be super fun to do in a scrappy sort of way with either the same block in the big piece or the same fabric or something, and then just having scrappy diamondy pieces around. I think that would be super cool. It might not have as much of a secondary pattern unless you, like if you did everything in like pinks and had like your hot pinks for this color and they were all sorts of hot pinks, and your light pinks for this color and all sorts of light pinks, and then you'd have the same kind of variation, but maybe you'd get a different kind of variation. Who knows? So I give this one 2 thumbs up. It came up together super quick. No half square triangles required, and just all sorts of fun. And I think the bubbles on there looked really cute. So we're at another super rainy week. So we're gonna run outside, see if I can beat the storm, get some photos taken before that rolls in, and do a quilt drop, or we'll be quilt dropping in the rain. So let's run outside and see what we find.